Alrighty. We are wrapping up unit number 3 here today. Dealing with a little bit of circle work. Circles in the coordinate plane, we're going to do a little with their graphs, a little bit with their equations, and kind of seeing how this works. So first thing we're going to start off with here, okay, Hardy's going to mess with this for a minute because that is getting a little too bright. We're going to start with the standard form of a circle. Now when I first show you this, this is going to look complex, and it's not really as complex as it looks once we get to understand a couple of the pieces. So x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. Now, what do some of those things mean? HK is our vertex, okay? Or excuse me, vertex, wrong shape. HK is the center of our circle, okay? Vertices are not for circles, those are for parabolas. And R is our radius. So what I have to keep track of here is identify the center and radius of each. The values are right here, but here's what I have to be careful of. Okay? Both of those h and k values for my center are in disguise, because these in here are the opposite of what they should be. So my center is not -2, -1. No, my center is +2, +1. Okay? And my radius is not 25. My radius is the square root of that value. And that's it. Okay? So a couple of little details to keep track of, nothing too bad. So again, opposite for my center, square root of that value for my answer. Okay. Now, are there some twists to this? Sure, this is math class. What do you mean, are there twists to this? Identify the center and radius. Like Hardy, there's no parentheses in the first one. Like I can do this one. If I punch square root of 225 in my calculator, I get 15. Okay. Well, what about the center though? It's still there. We just don't see it. Now what's my center? 0, 0. So here's a tip. Whenever you just see x squared and y squared, or either one, it doesn't have to be both. You could have just an x squared and then a y with parentheses or vice versa. You want to make sure that those get filled in as zeros. There's still a point there. We just got to find it. So that's one twist. The other twist is in number 4. Not in the center. Opposite. But here you're like, wait a minute, Hardy, wait. 7's not a perfect square. So what do I do? Typically, we're just going to leave it as a radical. Now, if sometime you're doing something and that's not working, like the square root of 7 isn't an answer, you can type it in. It might go as a decimal, but normally the radical is going to be fine, okay, when we're dealing with those. And then there's only one more thing with this, and we actually have this set already. So here, use the information provided to write the standard form equation of a circle. Okay. My opinion only. I'm going to do this on the first one. You don't have to do this every time, but I think it's going to help here when we get kick-started. When I have this and I'm trying to write an equation, those are the 3 values I'm plugging in. Okay, so I'm going to do that first because this is my H, this is my K, this is my R. So x opposite of h squared plus y opposite of k squared equals my radius squared. Don't forget about the squared part. Whatever this number is, we're squaring it. So what does that mean? Well, x minus 0 is just x. So x squared. Y minus 0 is just y. So y squared. And squared and square root just cancel. Or I could type it in my calculator and I'll see the same thing. And that's it. I'm done. So I would always label H, K, and R. And if I don't have this available, and there's no reason you don't, you should have a note sheet there. And then again, X opposite of H squared plus Y opposite of K squared equals 6 squared. Okay, so there's 3 pieces I got to remember. Opposites on H and K and squaring my radius. And that's it. And the only other twist we can have is maybe I don't give you all the numbers. Maybe you have to figure out the numbers. I just give you the graph. Okay, so we got to go locate the center. Now let's see here. Is that the center? Well, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because again, a radius means it's the same distance in all directions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's the center. I kind of eyeballed it, but then I counted off. So what is that? Well, what's the coordinate values at my center? -1, -2. Okay, and what was that radius I counted off in any direction? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now it's basically the same thing I was just doing. I just had to do a little more of the grunt work myself. X opposite of H squared plus Y opposite of K squared equals my radius 5 squared. Rock and roll. One more here. Let's see. Is that my center? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yep. So let's see. This time my center is at. Ooh, now be careful. There's all sorts of funky stuff going on here. Here's my origin up here. So I didn't go left or right any. So my x value is 0. But I went down 3. Be careful because you might be tempted to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But notice the lines are every other in this one. Again, little details we got to watch for. And then same thing here. Don't count every one. Notice they're counting by ones here. So from here to here is 0 to 3. So my radius is 3. Plug it in. X opposite of H squared plus Y opposite of K squared equals 3 squared. I can leave that as x minus 0. It's not wrong, but like if you're doing an online thing like Delta Math or quizzes or something, it won't leave it like that. It's going to simplify it. So I'm just kind of giving you a heads up. Y plus 3 squared, and 3 squared is 9. Okay, and that's it. Okay, with the circles, nothing real complicated to deal with there. So again, try them out on the back. That's where the practice is in this one, on the back of this sheet. And if you run into any questions, let me know.